All right, let's get right into it. For any US CPA firm out there, thinking about outsourcing can kind of feel like a roll of the dice. But what if you had a clear, actionable checklist to turn that gamble into a smart, strategic move? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
I mean, this is the classic dilemma, isn't it? On one hand, you've got this incredible promise of lower costs and smoother operations. But on the other, there's that nagging fear of miscommunication, sloppy mistakes, and deadlines that just whoosh, fly right by. So how do you get all the good stuff without the headaches?
Well, the great news is there's absolutely a way to do this right. Think of this as your roadmap, a guide to help you sidestep those common pitfalls and build a partnership that actually helps you grow.
Let's be real. This is the stuff that keeps firm leaders up at night. The goal seems so simple, right? Save time, save money. But if you jump in without a solid strategy, you can end up with way more problems than you started with. That's why having a structured plan isn't just a nice to have, it's like non-negotiable.
Okay, so first things first, where do we even begin? Before you even start looking at who to partner with, you have to get crystal clear on why you're doing it in the first place. Seriously, this foundation is everything.
So what are you really trying to do here? These goals totally shape who you end up picking. Is it purely about cutting operational costs, or is it maybe more about freeing up your senior people so they can focus on high-value client work and strategy? You know, a weak why sounds like, well, our competitor's doing it. But a strong why is something like, we need to free up 20 hours a week for our senior team to build out a new advisory service. See the difference? Defining this up front means you're not just hiring help, you're investing in a solution that actually fits your vision.
Once you've got your why totally locked in, it's time for what is arguably the most critical part of this whole thing, choosing the right partner. And this isn't just about finding someone to crunch numbers. You're looking for a genuine extension of your team.
These three things right here, they're the non-negotiables. Your partner absolutely must speak the same financial language. We're talking US GAAP, tax codes, and the specific software you use every single day. There's just no room for a learning curve here. You can't afford for them to be learning on your dime.
And this, right here, is something so many firms just skip over. You've got to define who on your team does what. Your accounting manager? They're the day-to-day point person, the main line of communication. Your controller? They're focused on the big picture, strategy, and final review. This clear division of labor is what stops confusion and makes sure everyone is held accountable.
Look, we're dealing with incredibly sensitive client financial data. So security is, it has to be priority number one. Any partner you consider needs to prove they have a rock-solid tech setup. We're talking secure cloud systems, encrypted everything, and automation tools that not only keep data safe, but also make everything run more smoothly.
Think about tax season. It's just chaos, right? Your workload goes through the roof. A truly great partner can scale up with you to handle that surge and then just as easily scale back down when things get quiet. That kind of flexibility is a huge deal for managing costs and keeping your operations from breaking.
And now for the final piece of the prep work. You've got your goals, you've picked your partner, now you have to get your own house in order. It's all about preparing your internal team for this new way of working so the collaboration can actually succeed.
This is the people stuff. And honestly, it can totally sink the whole ship if you're not careful. How are you going to communicate across, say, a 12-hour time difference? Is the cultural fit there? This, by the way, is where nearshore solutions can sometimes be a big help, because you're working in similar time zones, which makes that real-time collaboration so much easier. Okay, you've put in the work, you've laid a solid foundation with those 3 steps. Now let's tackle some of the most common questions that pop up at this stage so you can feel really good about the results you're going to get.
Okay, this is a huge one. A lot of firms worry that adding another layer, an external team, is actually going to slow everything down. But is that really true?
The answer is a resounding yes. Think about it. When you offload all the routine, tedious, time-sucking tasks, your in-house experts are suddenly free to focus on what they do best, analysis and preparing the final reports. It's not about replacing anyone, it's about empowering your best people.
So, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but is this just a strategy for the big guys, the huge national firms? What about a smaller, growing practice?
Let's just put that myth to bed right now. The benefits are for everyone. In fact, you could argue for a smaller firm having access to top-tier talent and resources you can scale up or down without the crazy overhead, well, that can be a total game changer.
All right, here it is.
the million-dollar question. How do you stay in control and make sure the work being done, maybe thousands of miles away, actually meets your firm's high standards?
See, quality isn't something you just hope for. You have to manage it. That's why you have to build a system of regular check-ins, super clear performance indicators, and documented workflows. And who enforces all this? Your internal team, your accounting manager and controller. They drive the quality.
So, when you boil it all down, it really comes back to this simple but super powerful 3-step checklist. First, define your why. Second, really vet your who. And third, prepare your how. Get these 3 things right, and you're not just outsourcing tasks anymore. You're building a real strategic asset for your firm.
And that just leaves us with one final question to chew on. You've got the ambition, you've got the vision to grow your firm, but is the operational engine running things behind the scenes? Is it actually ready to keep up? It's something to think about.